Alrighty, fourth grade. So last time what we did was we took a piece of paper, we took a rubbing plate, put it underneath. We used either colored pencils or crayon to give it a rubbing. That is considered part of printing because remember, printing is when you take one surface and you transfer it to another. The surface of something else appears someplace different. So it can be a little bit confusing, but yes, we are doing a form of printing. Now it's time for us to add a word. So last time I had you brainstorm some words in your sketchbook. You can use one of those words today, or you can come up with your own idea. Take a picture of what we have so far. Virtual students, you've already done this, so just double check and make sure that you have a photo in your portfolio. If you could open your Chromebook for me and give me a thumbs up. So remember, portfolios is how I grade you. It's how I can see your process over time. So we take little pictures of what we do over time so that we can see our progress at the very end of projects. So there's two different ways you can find your portfolio. You can swipe up on the screen and type in portfolio, P-O-R-T-F-O-L-I-O, and you should see your portfolio pop up. Sometimes I type in fourth to make it pop up. Or if it doesn't work that way, that's fine. Just go to classwork, go to assignments, it should be at the very top. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, it says find your portfolio here, and it should be linked inside of that assignment, and you can just open it from there. Give me a thumbs up once you find your portfolio, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now, if you haven't updated your portfolio in a while, that could be something that you do at the end today. You can even mess with the colors and change the background and make it your own. Don't forget it needs to have a picture of you on slide 2, or at least a picture of something important to you. And then don't forget to fill out and tell me what you want to do in art this year. I want you to go down to slide 26 and then give me a thumbs up. So now that we're here, we're going to take a picture of art in process. So this is part of our printmaking unit. Press insert, image, camera, and then take a photo of whatever you have so far. Don't forget to press insert. If you finish early, you can always format your picture by pressing format options. What this means is basically filters. So you can go to adjustments. You can make it brighter. You can give it more contrast to make it easier to see. I appreciate that because it's easier to see your image when I go through portfolios on Sundays. Once you have your portfolio image, give me a thumbs up. What I want you to do is go to classwork and then go to the very top where it says week 17, a meaningful word, open the 1, 2, 3, and then give me a thumbs up. Okay, so once you're there, mine's still loading, I want you to go to the number 1. Inside the number 1, you're going to find a link to 1000 fonts. So sorry, it's called 1001 fonts. So you can see here that there are all sorts of crazy different fonts. Some of them are more serious, and then we have like alien fonts or 3D fonts, army fonts. So think of a font that maybe expresses your word. Ooh, look, there's even Star Wars stuff in here. It can be totally crazy like this. Like I can't even read that, but if that's the font you want to do, fine. There's even graffiti fonts. So if you want to do more of a graffiti style for your word, you can. As you're looking through these, please consider the length of your word compared to the paper. If you want to do it big, you may want to do a short word. If you're going to do a really long word in a font, maybe you can do it a little bit more narrow. That way you get a little bit more space. You can be creative with this. You can do words up and down, words side. You can do more than one word. This is my example from last week. I did more of a calligraphy style, like a cursive, and then I did some symbols too. Totally up to you. Now, I'm gonna get the question, so I wanna make sure I go over this. Like, let's say you wanna do, this is considered like a Gothic font. So if you wanna do this crazy font, and then I'm always gonna get people that say, Mr. Belfield, I don't know how to make this into my word. I see the letters and how they're different, but how do I make it into my word? If you go to preview, so this is when you start, clicking on different fonts up here, you can scroll down, type your text here. So let's say I still wanna do the word creative. I would type in creative. Today, you can ask me if you want me to double check on how something is spelled. And then scroll down again after you press enter, and all of those words will have the word creative and not just the title of that. So this will work on anything. So I found one that I like. What do I do now? I would click on it so you can make it a little bit bigger. Scroll down. You can use your fingers and I believe zoom in and make it as big as you want. It's going to be hard to trace with this paper. You could absolutely try, but I don't think it'll work. I would recommend using a pencil when you draw it here. If you use a Sharpie or something permanent, you're probably going to mess up your first time around, and you're going to be wasting this paper and wasting your hard work that you did last time. I'm gonna quickly draw this on there, and then I'm gonna decide how I want to do this today before I paint. So I just drew it on there. Now I have to decide how I want to do the filling in of the letters. You may have your own idea. I'm just gonna use a Sharpie. So like I said, I have the Sharpies on the middle table. If you're gonna use one. Just when you're done, put it in my bin so that I can sanitize it. I also have rubbing plates if you still need them, just like always, if you use something, just put it in the bin so I can clean it. So now I'm gonna go back and add some interesting boldness to my letters by giving them some black. I would not recommend using is your Crayola markers from your bag, because we are going to have the option of putting paint over this. If you do that, your marker will just wash away like paint. I went ahead and traced the letters with this. I have the option of coloring them in, or I could leave it like this and paint on the insides. Then you're gonna pick up your watercolor kit. This is super important because this is something that you get to keep and take care of so that you can have it at the end of the year and take it home for the summer. So you're gonna see this box up here. You're gonna see this box filled with your pellets. Just take one, and then you need a cup of water. If you're gonna get water, just take it, turn on the water a little bit, fill it up about halfway. You do need to remove your computer when using water, because if you didn't know, water and computers don't mix. How to do this, I'm gonna give you some tips on how to make these colors really pop. You're gonna be using your complementary colors if you would like to do that, and I will show you how. You should know how to use watercolor by now, but I'm gonna go over it just in case. You're gonna get your own watercolor brush. Don't lose this. This is the only one you get. Yeah, it comes with a little tube on top. Just take that tube off. It's gonna be really stiff. Just kind of flatten it out with your fingers, and that should help a little bit. Obviously, you're going to dip in the water, let it drip, and then you can go ahead and start. Here's my tip if you want to make these colors that you used either in crayon or colored pencil really pop. Use the complement of it. Use the opposite of that color if you want to make it pop. I'm going to try it out for you now. So if I have this green and I want to make this green pop out, I don't want to use green, otherwise it'll cover it right up. But if I use red and go around, that green will still pop through. So it takes a little bit to dry, but as it dries, it's gonna pop. You can control how dark you want the color. Obviously, if you want the color darker, spin around more, less water. If you want the color lighter, like a pink, add more water, less stirring, and it's going to be a lighter color. All right, here's what I have so far. Like I said, if you want to make those lines pop, use a complement or just use a really dark color like black. That will definitely make anything pop. But it's totally up to you. I have some areas where I decided to pop it, and then some areas where I just chose my own thing. I would recommend that you do not go over this with Sharpie while it's wet. That could ruin the marker. You can go into the paint, especially like the dark colors like black or something or whatever you choose, and you can go over the insides of your text. As always, it's totally up to you. Be as creative as you want during this project. Let's say I decided to go crazy and I accidentally got a little bit of black where I didn't want it. If you use your paper towel, you can erase it really quickly as long as you go fast and it doesn't bleed into the paper. When you are done, throw away your paper towel. Not need this tube anymore, you can throw that away. Put your paintbrush somewhere inside of the tray, close it. Before you put it away, this is so important. In-person students, make sure you put your name on it. So I'm gonna write Mr. Boatfield because that is my name. If you don't put your name on it, someone else will probably use this. So I'm gonna be going around and making sure that you have your name on it. When you're ready to clean up, do not put this on the drying rack today. We are going to take a picture of it before we go. So don't put that on the drying rack. If you have a rubbing plate, put it in the tray so that I can clean it. Water cup goes in the sink. Please do not put your paintbrush in there because you won't get it back. Your watercolor with your paintbrush goes inside this box that will be on the counter. This is how I keep it safe because you do not want to put a wet watercolor tray in your bag. It will just turn moldy. This way here I can keep it safe and it will dry. Do not put your watercolor tray in here, otherwise someone else will take it. If you finish early, feel free to work on your sketchbook or free draw. However, I highly doubt that you'll finish. We have a lot of stuff to do. If you don't finish today, it's okay. We'll work on it next time. Alrighty, my friends, hopefully your table is clear. It's time that we take our image of what we have so far. So you might be done, you might not be done. Chances are you're not done, it's okay. I want you to find your portfolio. Remember, you can swipe up and type in portfolio, or you can even type in your name or art, A-R-T, that works too. And you can find your portfolio that way, 4th grade art portfolio. Or you can go to classwork, go to assignments, go to the very bottom one where it says portfolio, and you can find it that way. Give me a thumbs up once you have your portfolio. All right, so now I want you to go to page either 26 or 27. The reason I say that is if you are done, I want you to put a picture on 27 so that you have it. If you're still working on it, I want you to put another picture on page 26. I don't know. I'm undecided if I'm done or not. I might add a little bit more to this. So I think I'm gonna put it on 26, but you can put it on 27 if you're done. I'm gonna press Insert, Image, Camera, and get a good picture of what I have so far. And like always, you can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you need. Put them side by side. Or if you're done, just put a picture on page 27. Give me a thumbs up once you have a photo, and then we're gonna pack up and go. Have a wonderful day.